Hi, I'm going to share a story about delivery flight. And you might be curious what that is. Turned out that I mentioned before my father worked 42 years at Boeing, and Boeing employees had a few perks. There was always planes around, but they were all pretty expensive, and they were have to be delivered to different airlines and everything else. But they would have something they called a delivery flight. Well, what that meant is that they would deliver a plane maybe in Kansas, and the taxes would be so much less it would justify the flight from Seattle to Kansas. And then at that point, the Boeing 727 was the newest airplane and was the really impressive airplane. And so they were delivering, and we had applied to see if we could get in a line where we could get on to a delivery flight. It'd be my mom and my twin brother and I, Richard. And there was kind of thing, they give you a last minute notice so you can go in and be able to get on the plane. And it turns out that we got a call one evening saying, "Can you be ready for a flight in the morning?" And we said, "Sure." And this is what we were living in Seattle at the time. We wanted to get back to Kansas. So my brother and my mom and I go out to the Boeing field where the airplanes would fly from, and we would go up to the plane with the instructions they were giving us. And it turns out that we were the only people on the airplane. It was a brand new airplane that was being delivered, and this was the last part of the test flight that was from Seattle to Wichita, or it's not to Wichita, to Kansas, to be turned over to the airlines. So we got in the plane, and this is before they had locks on the doors and anything else. It was probably only maybe 10, 12 years old at that point. Should probably know that closer. Maybe it was even younger than that. But I was very, very impressed. And we sat a lot of time in the cockpit with the headphones on, listening to the tower and talking. And the two pilots were really great. Remember, we took off really fast because we didn't have any load on board, just be three of us, plus two pilots. And we ended up buzzing Mount Rainier when we came in there and did a turn right over the top of Mount Rainier, which was really cool. So anyway, that was cool enough. So we flew on this brand new 727 and flew it over, and we were on our way just halfway to Kansas when my mom said, "Hey guys, was this flight supposed to go to Kansas City or Wichita?" And they said, "Well, we're scheduled for Kansas City, but were you wanting to go to Wichita?" And she said, "Well, yeah, but we'll take a bus from Kansas City to Wichita. We can get there, no problem." They said, No, that's okay. We'll take you to Wichita and drop you off." So we're flying in. I'm in the cockpit, and we're in the headphones on and everything else. And then they're talking to the tower, and they're calling in saying they want to come and land. And they go, "Well, you're an unscheduled flight." And they said, "Yep, we're just brand new out of the factory." They came down, landed the airplane. They rolled up some stairs. The three of us walked down the stairs, waved at the pilots, thank them. And then literally they turned around and took off right away and flew to, I guess, Kansas City, but left us there in Wichita in good shape. So that was a pretty extraordinary flight to be able to go from Seattle to Wichita on a brand new 727.